Welcome back to the Oxendine Law Podcast. Jared Oxendine and Christine Palmer here. And we're going to cover something that I don't think many people consider or even talk about. When people get divorced, they usually think about dividing assets and they talk about legal fees and the children in custody, parenting time, child support, maybe even alimony. But there are certain hidden costs that may pop up with your pocketbook or your lifestyle or maybe some emotional concerns that you need to know about and potentially plan for if you think about it ahead of time. So we're going to dive into that and open that vault so you can see what's in there. And I'm going to kick it to Christine because she is your divorced attorney. She's not just your divorce attorney, she's your divorced attorney. She's been there and done that.
That's right. I will be speaking from experience today in a lot of areas of these, what we call hidden costs of divorce. First things first, I personally, when my divorce occurred, my husband moved out, I remained in the house. Even as a divorce attorney who prepares people for this all day, every day, Jared, I thought I had it down. I was like, hold on. So let me think about this. I've already been paying the mortgage myself out of my check. I pay all the major utilities myself out of my check. What does my husband cover? All right, he covers cell phone, he covers internet. So let me contemplate those things. Okay, I'm on his car insurance. All right, let me contemplate that. Those are the big things. And I was like, okay, it's going to take a little bit of budgeting, but lucky for me, having paid a lot of the expenses during the marriage, it won't be that much of an adjustment. I can actually manage this household financially on my own. What did I not think about? Who cuts my grass? My husband does. So what is the cost of him cutting the grass? A tank of gas every month? A 5-gallon tank of gas every month? Now I got to pay a lawn guy because I don't have that skill or that time. I wouldn't know how to crank that lawnmower if I tried. We have a pool. Who cleans the pool? My husband does. And he gets the chemicals in bulk so that he has saved us a lot of money. So now I got to hire a pool guy. So I didn't see that coming. And then, I knew about what my car insurance was and the little bundle with him. I got to get my own independent. So I'm paying more than what I had contemplated. So little things like that just started adding up on me a little bit more and a little bit more. Somehow, I don't know, I thought like maybe some things will go down, power bill might go down. No, nothing went down. Everything went up. It doesn't mean I regret anything, but there were certain things I just didn't really plan for when it comes to that. So I think a lot of times really having a solid financial conversation with yourself about expenses that you've never brought on yourself will help you a lot because you don't know what you don't know. And those just little things just kind of started building up on me. I was able to manage them in a very good way and I saw them coming quickly, but I didn't prepare for them. So even me who does this all day, every day, I said anyone who's ever met with a divorce attorney, you fill out your domestic relations financial affidavit and you talk about your budget and how much is in everything. There's just stuff you don't contemplate and stuff you don't think about. So there are a lot of like hidden actual costs that you may need to prepare for.
And if you're aware of those costs and you've contemplated this in the beginning, you can make better decisions. You're more in control. Maybe you don't really want to keep the house.
Right.
Maybe you want to sell the house and get something different.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're getting alimony, you want to build these costs into your alimony number so that you don't have those surprises. I think people sometimes get tax surprises. They're used to filing joint and married, and they get, a different treatment status with the IRS and different exemptions and
Yes.
independency exemptions that they can claim that you may no longer get to claim.
Yeah, from current experience, I will tell you, I have always filled out my W-4 form as no exemptions. I don't have children. I had no reason to add exemptions. So I was 0, and I thought that was sufficient, but it was married 0. So the very first year that I got divorced, I owed well over $5,000 in taxes, which shocked me because my income had not changed. Nothing of my own had changed. So I didn't understand until I spoke to somebody who advised me, you have to fill out a new W-4 form because you have been withheld at a rate for a dual income household or joint household, and you're filing individual. So that made a huge impact. The very next year, while my check went down, of course, because they're adjusting that, I got a refund for the first time ever. So that is probably another like sort of unexpected hidden cost that you may need to see. Make sure if you go through a divorce, renew your W-4 form with whoever your employer is, because it's going to make a huge difference.
Speaking of tax implications, sometimes people have investment properties that they sell after the divorce. And when you sell an investment property, there is, as long as you sell for a profit, there are tax implications associated with it. There's capital gains taxes that you need to plan, you need to consider. You need to take that into consideration as part of the overall settlement. So when you're putting your settlement together and you're discussing settlement strategies, all these hidden costs and things that are going to pop up and happen after the divorce need to be contemplated so that you're better in control and you can make the best decision possible for you as part of your divorce settlement. And I'll mention one other thing, Christine, because I know this would affect me if I ever got divorced. You don't have kids, but think about your career momentum.
Yeah.
Let's say that you have kids, you live in a two-parent household, so you've got a spouse that's helping out as far as the kids are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to school, picking them up, get them to their activities, their sports, parent-teacher conferences, and now maybe you're carrying the primary burden of that. How will that affect your career momentum and ability to move up in your company? What about time off work? You're going to have to take time off of work for just kid stuff now, whereas maybe in the past you haven't had to do that. So if you consider those things when you're contemplating settlement, you can build in some of that stuff into your parenting plan to where you're not carrying all that burden for these hidden things that really come up and you don't recognize until after you're divorced.
For sure. And then there's other what we would consider hidden costs that aren't necessarily just financial. I've had a lot of clients. I advise all of my clients, if you are involved in a divorce, to some degree, some level, seek therapy. Now, some people, that therapy really truly is just having your best friend and unloading with that person every day, and that's plenty enough. For some people, they aren't comfortable sharing such private details with friends or even family, or sometimes even, anyone, people at the church. So that's why we have those professionals, that they are confidential. They're not going to be able to share any of that with someone else. We can't subpoena a therapist in a divorce case and say, has she admitted that she's had these bad thoughts? We don't get to do that, right? That process is confidential too. So being able to have that person. And a lot of times I would highly suggest that you go ahead and begin counseling, because if you can start the emotional improvement during the divorce process, you're not delaying that. You're doing this simultaneously. Sometimes you have like a lot of crap you got to do and you don't want to do it. Like, let's just get it all done right now. Let's not do it over. Like, why would you clean one bedroom and then quit and then tomorrow clean another bedroom? No, screw it. Stop doing that. Just clean the whole house and then tomorrow you'll be free. And it's sort of the same thing. So you want to be working on that financial well-being, that emotional well-being, all at the same time while you're working on we're working on the legal well-being over here. And a lot of times people tell me, I can't afford that. Like, I can't afford to go to therapy. My insurance doesn't cover it. It's $70 a session. I don't have that in my budget right now. But I'm telling you, that investment in yourself I can promise you, and what it's going to save you in probably attorney's fees. In the converse, someone who's been to a good therapist, who has become confident in themselves, confident in their decisions, is going to be less litigious, period. That's just the way that goes. If you are in a place where you're emotionally ready to consider this a business decision, I'm going to handle the emotions with my therapist. I'm going to handle the business over here with my lawyer. You're going to save so much in legal fees. So don't think of it as a spend on top. Think of the investment it's saving you in being able to not just hold on to, I have to have this or I have to have that. Learn that flexibility. Learn that life's going to be better after. So I think it's an amazing investment in yourself to get a good therapist.
Yeah, and you got to get your mind right, and that applies to post-divorce as well. If you have the right mindset and you have the right outlook on life, people see that as soon as you walk in the door. It's true with everything. It's true when you walk in the door and say hello to your kids.
Yeah.
It's true when you walk in the door and say hello to your significant other,
Yeah.
your boss, your coworkers, your friends, your community, your church, whatever you're involved in. You walk in that door and you're confident and you got your mindset right, you're going to be successful.
Exactly.
And for a lot of people, divorce is a fresh new start. It's a new lease on life. It's a new opportunity to start brand new and have new experiences and new success stories and new relationships. So it can be quite exciting, but you've got to have your mindset right. And you've got to fully understand the cost of divorce. If you do that, it puts you in control and you'll be ready to fly. So make sure you tune back in for more honest, strategic, and just practical advice and guidance. We love to give you that. hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You'll be the first to be updated on any future episodes. Thanks for hanging with us. See you next time.